to center stage again today in the 2016 Youth Judging Contest. We had a great turnout of judging teams that judged a combination of halter and performance classes. Thank you for all the teams that participated and people that brought horses. This was the best year yet. For the first time this year was the AWPA Arabian Horse World $100,000 Arabian Western Pleasure for Charity. We were able to ask Dave and Michelle, the masterminds behind this class, a little bit more about it.
I'm Michelle Reeser.
I'm Dave Daughtery.
This is the inaugural AWPA Western Pleasure Futurity class. AWPA is the Arabian Western Pleasure Futurity or Association. It's formed for the 4-year-old junior horse, and it is a $100,000 purse for the purebred and $50,000 for the half Arab.
And then how did you get this idea?
Well,
Pull it from the AEPA.
it started in Denver, Colorado about 8 years ago at convention, and we started talking to the members from the AEPA to figure out how they did it. And about 2 years ago, we were on the way home from Scottsdale, and it was a really good Scottsdale, and we put it online, and it went crazy, so we figured it was time to do it.
Why start this class? What was your idea to help boost the industry?
Because people aren't breeding, and we need an industry 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. You know, I want this industry to still be here for my kids, and people aren't breeding. And so the whole point was to try to get people excited about breeding again and want to breed again, and to get excited about the Western Pleasure.
The first year we have 69 stallions that came aboard. They donated breeding for purebred. Some of them donated for purebred and half Arab. They pay a nomination fee, which actually goes back into different forms of prize money. And from that, we give $100,000 to the purebred class, which is sponsored. The naming rights sponsor is the Arabian World, and $50,000 to the half Arab, which is C. Jarvis Insurance, is our keynote sponsor there. And the stallion owners actually get prize money from this. And the way this works is we use the money from the auction breeding, from the sponsorship from them, but we also have a lot of other sponsors, and you'll see on the saddle silks, Michelle come up with this concept that every one of those horses have a saddle silk on and they have a name on them. Those are sponsors of our program and of these classes. So it's very important that we look at that. Another thing that happened was the Arabian Breeder Sweepstakes program came to us, and they felt that it was noteworthy. It was along the lines of what they're trying to promote breeding. So they actually put some money, $5,000 into the purebred, if that purebred champion is a breeder sweepstakes foal, and $3,000 for the half Arab, same deal. So it takes a lot of people and a lot of sponsors to be able to put this much prize money together.
So really how it works is you have to nominate, the stallion owners have to nominate their stallion by December 31st. And to get this going, so we didn't wait, it's kind of twofold for right now. So you nominate your stallion by December 31st, and then that anybody who breeds to that stallion is eligible for that class their 4-year-old year. To get it going, though, whoever was nominated by December 31st of 2015, their 4-year-old is eligible this year. So whatever stallion owners nominate by December 31st, 2016, their 4-year-olds next year in 2017 will be eligible. We had our first auction the end of March, right after Scottsdale. So we had auction babies, and that's where, when that full crop is 4-year-old, an auction breeding will have additional money incentive when that happens. And then you have to nominate your in utero mares by December 31st to be eligible from here on out. And that's our hope. Our hope is we'll get more sponsors, we'll get more stallions, we'll get more mare nominations, that people will see that it's real. Like, we've been talking about it for 2 years. You have to start talking about it and getting in place. I'm hoping once this class goes in, they see the checks being passed out, everybody's going to get excited about it, really hear about it, and our entries will go up every year. But I would like to see it, if we're going to go anywhere with it, is to the amateur level.
Yeah, that would be there.
Get enough prize money to pay down a little bit further past 10, plus bring it to the amateur level. that's where I want to see this grow to. I guess I would just like to thank everybody for letting us take our idea and making it happen. Because just you can have an idea, but if people won't, participate, then it doesn't come fruition. And it's really exciting to see this happen. And the stallion owners, our sponsors, the people that are entering their horses, it takes all of us. So it's really.
Yeah.
We had 25 purebreds.
And 16
half
Arabs. And the other thing is, the Arabian Horse Association allowed us to bring this class here. We had many events that wanted it, and we felt it was important to bring it to U.S. Nationals and partner with the Arabian Horse Association, because that gave everybody, no matter what part of the country they were, because this is the crescendo of the year, the opportunity to equally come to this show. If we put it in one particular area of the country, then it may not be fair for the people on the opposite end of the country.
We also had a chance to sit down with Arlene and Trevor Miller of Miller Arabians and talk about the very first U.S. Nationals, which Arlene and her husband Tom had shown in, and now their grandson Trevor is carrying on the legacy and showing at the 50th U.S. Nationals.
I'm Arlene Miller from Red Bluff, California, and from Miller Arabians. My husband Tom, my son Judd, we have the ranch in Red Bluff, California now. We came from Colorado for many years. It was, but now we're out here. And our grandson is taking it over now, and we're very proud to have him carry on. Well, when we were first married, we always went to the stock show in Denver, Colorado. And there was a black Arabian there that I just fell in love with. And Tom came from the ranch, which they just had ranch horses. But then we had an uncle who had a friend in Denver that had Arabian horses. And so we went over to look at his horses, and of course that's when we ended up with Gadia.
Foundation sire.
Yes, the foundation sire. Yeah, in the early years,
We just had halter.
we'd had halter, and
That's all
then
they had at nationals in the early years.
yeah, right,
And then it grew.
and then it grew.
Is that how you guys then decided kind of to get into like the cutting side of things, the cow horse?
Well, because we were on the ranch and had ranch horses.
It was real life.
It was real life.
You used the Arabs for that.
And the Arabs had to work on the ranch just like any other horse. So then, of course, you begin to look at the shows and different things.
Start breeding.
And we started breeding. Well, we got our first mares, the 3 mares out here in Cal Poly, Kellogg's.
Through Gladys Brown Edwards.
Through Gladys Edwards. I do know when we really started showing more, we had Gay Apollo, and he was at the Nationals.
He was reserve national
And he was reserve national champion.
stallion.
Stay.
So what do you think of U.S. Nationals now?
I don't think it's changed. I think you got just as many good horses, and it looks the same. I mean, it's still growing, and
The good ones are still good.
And the good ones are still good, and you still have people coming up to support it, which you have to have them, and they have their dreams, and until they get here, and find out what it takes, then they'll be here, I do think that.
Did you ever think when you went to your first nationals and the first few that it would ever grow this big and gain the popularity it gained?
I did, or I should say we gained with it, because they have had a lot of very good people to support the Arabs, and we were right along with it, and we grew with it. But the people that back then that was supporting this, they were good, and they made it grow. Well, they did. I'm thinking like, John Wheeler, he's the one that made the rainbow pot of gold.
The pot of gold,
Pot
the
of gold,
sweepstakes.
the sweepstakes. He did that.
And Basie.
And Basie. Basie was great.
She's a
And Sheila
Sheila Varian, yes.
and Greystone. What was her name?
Oh, Greystone.
See the same people here
Their kids.
with like us, and their kids are here, and there's a lot of them still coming with their generation.
I'm Trevor Miller. I am the grandson of Tom and Arlene Miller, who established Miller Arabians over 60 years ago. I was born into this industry. I've spent my life in it. I was very, very fortunate that I had parents that wanted to do it, and grandparents that wanted to do it, and a whole family that wanted to do it. This year is very special. It's the first year that I've been to nationals on my own with carrying the Miller Arabian flag. It means quite a bit, and it's very, very, very big honor to be here and know all the work and the heart that has gone into the breeding program and the legacy that my grandparents have created. They made a change in the breed. They truly took the Arabian working Western horse to a whole new level, not just in cutting, even though that was certainly where they have set the records and specialized. The horses have gone on to be tremendous athletes in reining, trail, Western, many, many divisions, and that is a huge, huge, huge honor for me to take it forward. I've watched them my whole life work so hard, but love the work they did. To this day, my granddad and Nana, when they begin to speak of the horses over the generations, the foundation mares, the foundation sire, the ones that have come in between, and of course Xenophon, who just brought the whole thing together. The passion that is within them comes out. It's deeply embedded in them, and I feel very, very grateful that I too have that passion and have the opportunity to carry it forward. I would have to say I have two moments that were pretty important to me. Number one was early on in the week, and that was that I got here. I arrived. My other favorite moment is now having my grandmother here, having her come and support us and be involved. That's what a dream.
We took to the cutting pen and had a chance to learn a little bit more about the sport, its growing emergence in the Arabian horse industry, and some exciting changes to the Arabian cutting fraternity. We even climbed aboard with a GoPro camera and got to see what it was like to be in a cutting class.
Hi, I'm Tony Trigo. I'm the president of the North American Arabian Cutting Horse Alliance, or NACHA, which is a new AHA affiliate dedicated to promoting the Arabian cutting horse. As far as I know, with but few exceptions, cutting has been happening at the Arabian Nationals as long as the show has been in existence. So cutting is one of the elite cow working classes in the whole horse world, and in a cutting run you have 2.5 minutes to enter the herd, and you need to cut, which means just sort out one individual cow and work that until the cow allows you to legally quit, and you have to work at least 2 cows in a 2.5 minute time period. And once you have your cow cut, you have to put your hand down and cannot rein unless you want to take penalty points for reining that horse while they're actively working the cow. Again, the horses have to be very well trained. They have to know what they're doing and want to do it, because otherwise, with your hand down, you don't have a whole lot of control if that horse says, no, I'm done. So really well-trained horses. There are a lot of things that you can get penalty points for, but it's a lot of fun. And if you've ever sat and watched it, when those horses are hooked onto a cow and they start getting down and dirty as the cow's trying to get back to the herd, it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's even more fun to ride. The North American NACHA was formed to have a more charitable and educational mission than its predecessor. We were just formed in the last year. So we are seeking status as a 501c3 so that we can take charitable donations, and we'll probably be working with the Arabian Horsemen's Distress Fund and some others. But a big part of our mission is really to promote and grow the sport of cutting. The sport has had highs and lows in the Arab industry. And so we really want to get it back on track because it's such a fun sport, and there are a bunch of new developments both between AHA and with our club that we think will help grow and promote the sport. So last year at convention, the rules for the Arabian and half Arabian cutting futurity were changed to be more in line with our other performance futurities. It's a class for horses up to 5 years old, but they've changed the rules so that instead of showing with their hand down like a finished cutter, they can actually ride two-handed, and they have to show in a snaffle or a bosel. So it kind of fits the whole picture of the young Arabian performance horse a little more than the traditional cutting horse futurity. And that benefits us in having a little bit more time to get those horses trained, get them solid when they're here at the big show. What has been done is we've had some individuals that have donated at this point a total of $6,000, which is going to be split between the purebred and the half Arabian futurity, and we're going to pay to the top 3 horses in those class. So we're guaranteeing at least $1,500 to the national champion in both the half Arab and the purebred cutting futurity. And that's going to be over and above the traditional futurity payout that will be paid through NACHA, and I am hopeful that we can actually cut those checks and hand them to the winners at the show. We do have a website. It's naacha.org, and so we have all the contact information. We do or will have a trainers directory, all of our actual officers and directors' contact information is on there, so we are a very friendly and welcoming bunch. We'd love to have you get in touch with us, and we can give you more information on cutting. You can stop by one of our farms, take a ride on a cutting horse, and we will help you get started in the sport if you're interested. Or if you really just want to support the sport without riding and showing, we can talk to you about ways to do that as well.